Imagine being sentenced to death, not for violence, not for treason, but for asking, why? In 399 BCE, in the world's first democracy, a man named Socrates was condemned to die. His crime? Corrupting the youth. Disrespecting the gods. But his real sin was far simpler, and far more dangerous. He made people think. His death was not just a moment in history. It was the collision of philosophy and politics, truth and power, reason and fear. It was the day thinking itself was put on trial. Socrates walked barefoot through Athens, not as a preacher, but as a question. What is justice? What makes a life good? What is truth? He didn't write books. He didn't build temples. He did something far more subversive. He asked people to examine themselves. He would stop strangers in the market, politicians in the assembly, and ask them to define what they claimed to know. And when they couldn't, he smiled, not out of arrogance, but recognition. That realization, that we do not know what we think we know, was the beginning of wisdom. But Athens, for all its democracy and brilliance, was not ready to be questioned. The city that gave birth to reason could not tolerate being reasoned with. And so, the philosopher who freed minds was condemned for corrupting them. Before a jury of 500 citizens, Socrates stood accused of impiety and subversion. He refused to plead for mercy. He refused to flatter the crowd. I am a gadfly, he said, sent by the gods to awaken this city. He could have escaped. He could have begged. But he didn't. He believed in law, even when law betrayed justice. He believed that obeying an unjust sentence was still more noble than breaking the system he had lived to examine. In Plato's Crito, he tells his followers, one must never do wrong, not even in return for wrong. And so, when the time came, he drank the cup of hemlock, calmly, deliberately, without bitterness. The city silenced his body, but his idea was already immortal. Here lies the paradox. Socrates spent his life challenging authority, yet in the end, he submitted to it. He taught rebellion against ignorance, yet refused to rebel against the city that killed him. Was it surrender, or proof? By choosing death, he embodied his philosophy more completely than ever before. He proved that truth is worth more than survival, that integrity is greater than comfort. He became the living example of his teaching, and in death, the teaching itself. But could be of more help to society, if he were alive and had chosen to escape? That thought has enticed thinkers throughout history. Socrates never claimed to know truth. He claimed to love it. All I know, he said, is that I know nothing, and when death came, he proved it again. He did not pretend to understand what follows life. He did not speak of heaven or hell. He spoke of not knowing, and accepted it. He didn't fear death. He examined it. In that moment, philosophy ceased to be theory. It became action. It became courage, the courage to face the unknown with clarity. He showed that wisdom is not certainty, but the willingness to live and die inside doubt. Socrates' death was not a tragedy. It was a revelation. It showed the oldest pattern in civilization, that power fears thinkers more than armies. From Socrates to Galileo, from Hypatia to Turing, every age repeats Athens. Every age killed its Socrates. But every time, philosophy rose again, because an idea cannot be executed. The body drinks poison, but the question remains. One of the young men who watched him die was named Plato. He took his teacher's final moments and turned grief into genius. He founded the Academy, the first institution of higher learning. He taught Aristotle, who later taught Alexander the Great. From a single death came the birth of Western philosophy. Socrates died for questioning, and questioning built civilization. The poison was a seed. We live in an age that worships certainty and fears silence. Where outrage is louder than thought, and information drowns understanding. Socrates reminds us that wisdom begins where opinion ends. That freedom is not the right to shout, but the right to ask. That courage is not defiance, but discipline, the discipline to face truth, even when it hurts. As the poison reached his heart, Socrates continued to speak. Even in death, he was teaching, showing that ideas are immortal. He died obeying a flawed law, but revealed a higher one, the law of truth. The unexamined life is not worth living. 2,400 years later, that sentence still echoes through every generation. He asked questions that can never be answered, because we were never meant to answer them, only to keep asking. And perhaps that is what it means to live philosophically. If your mind enjoyed this, engage with Braingasm pages, like, share, comment and subscribe.